What's up, HBCU fans? You're watching the Pulse Weekly, brought to you by HBCU Live. I am your host, Toby Durham. Thank you for joining us again. We got an action-packed show for you today. We got a lot of HBCU sports, HBCU culture, and everything in between. I want to introduce my co-host, Will the Thrill, the gridiron specialist, Will Terry.
Hey, once again, welcome and hello to my HBCU Live family.
Yes, sir. Also, I want to introduce another co-host and a special guest of ours tonight. You know what I'm saying? My brother from another, Mr. Colden Gamble.
Peace and blessings. Glad to be here to talk a little talk.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, we're glad you're joining us this week. But let me tell you, first off, we want to say it is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. If you know anybody, who's gone through, dealing with breast cancer, please donate. Find your local organizations, the National Breast Cancer.org. You can go, you can donate. Save the Tatas. We love the Tatas over here at HBCU Live. So please donate. Breast cancer has affected a lot of people in the nation, across the world, basically. So please take time and donate to the organization and things. First off, we want to say too, it's homecoming season. Teams are getting into conference play. There's a lot of things going on in the HBCU world. Fella, talk about what it is to go to a homecoming. Coley, talk about what it is going to homecoming, man.
O-N-E-C-O, M-I-G is homecoming, y'all. It's Black college sports homecoming. It's a special thing, man. It's like collard greens at Thanksgiving. They go hand in hand.
Yes, sir. And Coach Thrill, talk about homecoming for you, man.
It's wonderful. I grew up in Winston-Salem. My mom was a Ram, to the backer. Fit. If you're in a Ram, you know the rest of that is. So it's always, you got the parade, you got people flying in that you ain't seen in years. Remember the smiles and the laughs and the happy cries. And let me address something, man. Let's keep this violence out of here. Once again, we had some violence, man. I hate to keep bringing it up, and I hope this weekend people can enjoy it festively without BS. Keep the bullshit at home, man. If you're packing a gun instead of some chicken wings, go the other way. You know what I mean?
100.
But it means so much to us. And like you said, man, it's one of our last milestones, one of our last pillars that we got to hold tight to and appreciate and value, to the utmost.
Right, right. And the only violence that really should be is on the football field.
On the football field, controlled violence.
Controlled violence,
You ain't
and
allowed.
yeah, man, because it's people getting together. Like I say, you see your family from school, people you went to school with, and you're showing love and coming out there. The violence is not needed. Keep that at home. Like I say, keep the guns at home. But we're getting into HBCU football right now because the conferences are gearing up. The MEAC's about to start conference play next weekend. The SWAC is gearing up. The CIAA, the SIAC, it's about to get juicy, So we don't want to talk about all that negative stuff. Let's get into the gridiron, what's going on in between the lines.
On that
yeah, man. SWAC football is getting underway. Like I say, MEAC conference play is getting underway next week. It's getting good right now. So like I say, strap in. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. We're gonna get into some very good HBCU sports at its finest right now.
Yes, sir.
So let's get it going, fellas.
Let's get it going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're gonna start with the SWAC right now. Jackson State undefeated in conference play. This past weekend they had a very big game against Alabama State. They're 3-0, 5-1 overall. Alabama State, the 3-1. You guys see it right there. It's starting to get good right now. But my surprise is Prairie View over there at 3-0 in the East. Coach Thrill, did you expect that in the beginning of the season?
No, I don't think we even mentioned them. I had to go back and double check. Don't even remember. I think I said Alcorn State or somebody like that as a sleeper. I think you said Texas Southern, and we expected Southern to go ahead and come out with it. Maybe even Grambling. They kind of seemed like they was getting off to a decent start. Prairie View flying under the radar as they wanted, and surprise, surprise, they right here coming out of the look to be coming out of the West.
Right. Well, like I say, this past weekend had a very good game down in Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson State versus Alabama State, and this game was the epitome of HBCU sports. This is HBCU sports at its finest. Jackson State took the game 38-34, but when I tell you it was a thriller down in Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson State's homecoming. They were in tune. The game was packed. The SWAC commissioner Charles McClendon, he was in the house. It was a game. Andrew Body. What do you say, Coach Thrill?
Ain't nobody like Andrew Body, boy.
Man, let me tell you, man. Saying? That guy, he had almost 350 yards passing. He just the way he controls the offense. It was a sight to see. It was a sight to see.
Yeah. Well, I think 432 yards total by himself. And that's why I say ain't nobody like Andrew
Body. But but hats off to the Jackson State Tigers. Jacobian Morgan, he controlled the game the entire way. He was the quarterback for Jackson. Quincy Ivory, the defensive end from Jackson State. Watch him because he's the one who picked off Andrew Body for his first interception of the season.
Right.
But yeah, like I say, man, this game had it all, and it was actually a heavyweight fight. Who had the ball last, and yeah, we saw that and everything. Now, going into it, Jackson State was 5 for 5 in the red zone.
Okay.
Every time they got down there, they scored.
100%.
Yeah. Alabama State, 6 or 7 in the red zone.
Almost 100%. And
almost
7-7.
Right. So when this game was pound for pound, it was evenly matched. Both defenses. They tried to stop each offense. Going into it, but at the end of the day, this was, like I said, a heavyweight fight. Yeah. But it also determined who was going to be in top of the East, coming out the East for the SWAC championship. Okay, because for y'all who don't know, the SWAC championship comes down to who's the champion of the East, down to who's the champion of the West. Okay, and like we mentioned earlier, Prairie View is undefeated in the West. Okay, right behind them is Texas Southern at 3-1, and Prairie View has already beaten Texas Southern
Right.
this season. That was the first game of the season, and they won 22-21. Okay, but right now they're 4-2 overall. They're undefeated in the conference. This weekend they have a matchup against Southern, the defending Western champions from last year. Okay,
Yeah.
now if Southern's having a down year, nobody expected them to be 1-5 right now.
Right. Right.
Nobody expected to be 1-5. Fellas, what is going on? Okay, so the West. Talk about the West.
I think it's just wide open, pretty much. And you have Southern, who I think came into it as the favorite out of the West. So and didn't lose too many players. So I guess they figured they was going to plug and play. But again, like I said, nobody expected them to be 1-5. Grambling, I thought, was trying to come along, but they started to fumble a little bit. And then here comes Prairie View, win over Texas Southern, who is right now second in the West. And so they control their own destiny. Let me say this and be clear, no knock against the West. But when you have a championship set up in that way, then you're prone to not get the best two teams in the championship at the end of the year. Case in point, it very well probably, and let's be real, Jackson State, Alabama State, there should be a rematch. And they can't knock out Bethune-Cookman. I mean, to be honest with you, the East might have the top three best teams, if not four, including Alabama A&M, in the conference. But unfortunately, only one can come out of the East. So the West is wide open. I'm saying, who cares? But right now, Prairie View, they control their own destiny.
Yeah. Head coach Tremaine Jackson at Prairie View. They have a dual quarterback situation with Cameron Peters and Tevin Carter. They have 12 rushing touchdowns on the season. Here's my thing about that. They're 4-2. They have 3 wins by 3 points or less on the season.
Right.
Like I said, they opened up the season 21-22 against Texas Southern.
Right.
They've had close games that they just, not saying they squeaked them out, but hey, they're winning. Win is a win, know. But saying I want to see moving forward in the rest of the season how they do against Southern this weekend and moving forward throughout the season. But like you said, that East, that's where mostly the champions are probably going to come from because the last couple of years.
And Prairie View was coming off a bye. Like I said, they squeaked that last game. I think it was 13-12.
Right.
So I mean, they're coming off a bye, and maybe they can get a chance to right the ship. And like I said, they need to get that win over Southern. Southern is trying to turn their season around. So again, they control their own destiny. But again, like we think and anticipate, it's coming out the East. And let's be realistic. It'd be a major upset if a team out of the West wins the conference championship.
Right. Well, fellas, like we said, this past weekend out of the East, that Jackson State Alabama State game was the game to see.
Of the year.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, 38-34. Like I say, it came down to the last second play. Alabama State was 6 or 7 in the red zone, and the one time that they didn't get in, that was kind of the determinant of the game, So I'm gonna sit back, and I'm gonna let you two guys, focus on what happened on that last play, so we can break it down and stuff. I'm gonna step out the way, and y'all boys let everybody know on the Post Weekly what happened on that last play.
Let's do it. All right, just a second last play. Right now you got what seems to be a second on the clock. And I think
second on the clock at the 1.5 yard line. Wrong game right here. So, I mean, to start out, I think the offensive line didn't get their assignments. Helmets didn't reach those outside shooters of those linemen. to seal the outside for the option run. And Jackson played defensive assignment football, and I think they sealed the game with the tackle.
Well said. And then if you take a look here, that's about to get highlighted. All right, you see all that space right there in the middle? Okay. And that's called open space, a good old window. So if you back it up to the beginning of that play on the goal line, all right. So you got trips out here to the right. Just pause right there. Okay. Now instead of coming to the left to the short side of the field, and put your best athlete in open space. Put your best athlete in open space. And you got routes being ran by the receivers at the top of the field on the strength side, but your quarterback rolls and limit his options to the weak side and the short side of the field. And to capitalize what Cody was saying, hats off to Jackson State. They played assignment football and took advantage of that. To me, terribly called play for that to be the last play of the game. If he rolls to the right, okay, I would take two receivers out of that trip set, and all three run that inside motion, and then do a square route or a corner route. Now your quarterback has 3 to 4 options. He can run, pass, and he got different targets that he can hit, and now you got more options. But instead, they chose the option route that got blown up by assignment football due to Jackson State poor blocking and great execution by Jackson State defense.
I agree with you, Coach. I mean, you got a great.
All goes wild. As Holyfield just won the fight.
So, question: do you feel if they were to reverse field, like you said, instead of running to the left, run the play to the left, run it to the right, give you more opportunities for the receivers, for Andrew Body to go make a play? Would that have been a better decision? Would that have been a better choice?
Because ain't nobody like Andrew Body. So I'm gonna give him all the opportunity to make plays and all the field to work with. Give him a wide open canvas. Don't restrict him to a piece of paper. Give him that big old wall. Let him get all the spray cans, the paint brushes, and everything he needs. Cause ain't nobody like Andrew Body. But what they did, they gave him a pen and a piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? And Jackson State ripped that piece of paper. So they shrunk the field on them. Again, so to answer your question, yes, I think it would have been a different result if they were reverse field and took advantage of the wide side of the field versus to me, I think they outsmarted themselves, thinking that Andrew Body was going to go to the wide side, and no, they played assignment football, like Cody said, and blew up their smart idea.
Yeah, 100% agree with Coach. I mean, you got a dynamic athlete like that. You want to give them space to operate. I personally, I think the play should have went to the wide side of the field. You just give your athlete a better chance to make plays, especially on a stretch play like that. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me to run to the short side of the field, especially after having that extra time to come up with that play. Before the theatrics of how much time was left on the clock, et cetera, et cetera. Just didn't seem like it was a well thought out prepared play.
Well said. Like you said, you got not only the timeout. Like you said, you had the theatrics that took time to get everything. So that you mean even a timeout, you should have came with something better. But you got an extra time, like Coach said, to go through all the theatrics. Oh man, you could have had that dude having all kind of options when he came to the line. You know what I mean? Let him shoot. You draw it in the sand. You come with your own play. Sandboxing. Ain't nobody like Andrew Body. I gave you do what you want to do, son. That would have been better than that. I'll be honest with you.
Right.
So, but it is what it is. Hats off to Jackson State for playing assignment football, because they could have taken the bait and played to the strength. Thinking how we're thinking, and the weak side DN and D tackles could have over pursued, and that play would have been a whole different outcome.
I'm glad you said that, Coach, because they still almost scored on that play. the tackle still had to be made on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it was actually a good open field tackle
Mm-hmm.
to prevent him from because
Absolutely.
he didn't have the opportunity to stretch for the goal line. He got folded up right there.
Yeah.
As soon as he cut the ball to turn, he got folded up.
No.
So great
Just because
defense.
it's Saturday, you still got to show up to work. He showed up to work.
So I hate to say it, but a lot of the talent for the SWAC is in the East, and this may have been your SWAC championship game, But like I say, you got to play it between the lines. But this was the game. Like I say, I was at a venue and I saw the game, and they had a lot of other like they had the Oklahoma Texas game on. They had a lot of other games on, but a lot of people were focused on this Jackson State Alabama State game in that venue.
Yeah,
And
good
they had
football being played.
great football was played. Great football was played, and it was good to see that game was captivating over all of the other games, like because Archie Manning was playing against Oklahoma,
Right.
but to see
Right.
that it had other people captivated, that was what's up right there.
Right.
So, but like I say, the SWAC is coming down to it. Like I said, we got Prairie View and Southern. We're gonna keep a real close eye on that game right there this weekend, that Prairie View Southern game and stuff. So, yes, sir. Now you said Texas Southern because Chris Dishman is the head coach at Texas Southern.
Right.
So if Prairie View slips up against Southern this weekend, then Texas Southern may be a team to watch coming out the West as well.
Yeah, they'll still need some help, but because of head to head, if they both end the season with one loss, they'll need some help from another loss from Prairie View. But again, they'll be in the back in the race.
Right. Right. All right. So yes, now we're gonna take a break, going into our MEAC coverage. So we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Founded in 1920, the Southwestern Athletic Conference has produced some of the most iconic names in sports. Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Alcorn State, Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M, Grambling State, Jackson State, Mississippi Valley State, Prairie View A&M, Southern, Texas Southern, and the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff have united to embark on a new era of greatness. The Southwestern Athletic Conference, building champions for life.
Resilience, community, progress. These values define HBCUs and guide our mission to create spaces that bring people together for a better tomorrow. Since 2009, we've partnered with institutions and communities, investing over $15 million and awarding hundreds of grants across our campus improvement, innovation lounge, and community project grants to spark meaningful change nationwide. Each year, we built on that legacy, activating transformative projects across several HBCU campuses to create spaces where students can live, learn, and thrive. As Retool Your School marches forward, we remain steadfast in shaping a future where every student's potential can flourish. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
Are you an event planner or venue manager looking to offer live streaming without the technical headaches? At Serious Fun Productions, we specialize in making live streaming easy, professional, and profitable for you. We partner with venues and planners to provide end-to-end live streaming services. You get more to offer your clients, while we handle the cameras, switching, graphics, and broadcast. Our white-labeled approach means your brand stays front and center. We work behind the scenes to make you look great. Here's how we deliver. We start with a discovery call to understand your goals. Then we plan the setup based on your venue's layout and needs. On event day, our crew arrives early for full setup and testing. During the show, we run the live stream with experienced camera operators and a dedicated technical director. After the event, we provide recordings, analytics, and a smooth post-show handoff. Our partnership plans make it easy to get started. Choose from 3 packages: Essential, Pro, and Elite, depending on the size of the event and the level of support you want. Plus, our built-in ROI calculator shows exactly how much you can earn with every event you host or produce. Whether you host weddings, conferences, town halls, or galas, Serious Fun is your streaming partner behind the curtain. Let's work together to elevate your events and grow your revenue without adding stress. Partner with Serious Fun Productions today.
All right, Pulse family, we are back, and we are also at the midpoint of October, and we are almost into MEAC conference play. They only have 6 teams in the MEAC. FAMU and everybody left a couple years ago, but they are still holding strong. So they don't really get into conference play until the first of November. But the last week of October. So everybody's kind of off this weekend except for Howard. They play Tennessee State out of conference and things. But right now in the standings, as you see, North Carolina Central sitting there at 5-2, Dale State at 4-3, which is a surprise. We're going to talk about that in a second. I really thought at the beginning of the season, all the hype, Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick, they come into the conference, but last week, Deshaun Jackson's team had 598 yards of rushing. I could have sworn Deshaun Jackson was a receiver, but he has brought a smash mouth football mentality to these Dale State Hornets and stuff.
As a former receiver, we like to block. We take pride in blocking.
All right.
We don't mind springing that running back for a tutty. We don't mind springing that running back for a tutty. And so he know the game. It's about knowing the game. When you coach, you know, if you go to your strength. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you can run that ball, run that ball. And so, especially on the running game, if you can't stop the running game, then keep on going. And then if they ever try to slow the box, you can go over top of the head if you need to. Sometimes you can keep on going. If they can't stop you, they can't stop you. So he's have that mentality to smash my football stoppers, and it's working in his favor so far.
Well, next weekend they got to go to Durham, North Carolina, and see those Eagles of North Carolina Central.
That's gonna be a good game. Walker Harris and company, and Mosley. They got to run an attack as well. Those Eagles. I know they got wings, but them talons are gripping the ground. Mosley he's gripping the ground with them talons.
Yeah.
So you think he had 100 and if I'm not mistaken, 103 yards. What was that? I'm sorry, I got you wrong, brother. Mosley, 131 yards. My apologies, Mosley. 131 yards the last game. So they have a good balance going on between him and Walker Harris, and they have a solid defense. It's going to be a good game, a good conference opener.
Right. Well, Deshaun Jackson, the Hornets, they got Marquise Gillis. He's a ground and pound back and everything, and he is not coming down for no arm tackles. You hear me?
Sir.
When you get this man, you better get his feet from under him and everything, and get him on the ground, because they done rushed for 2,280 yards already. So it's gonna be a good game.
And to your credit, you mentioned Gillis earlier in the season, and he told me, he said, "3, watch out for him." So I'm gonna give you your flowers, brother. You continue to get them, load them up, get your vase full, get your vase. It's a vase or vase, however you like to pronounce it.
Some cars different fancy.
You know what I'm saying? So like I told you, I give you credit when credit due, boy. You've been calling it this year.
Listen, brother, you know what I'm saying? Listen, 'cause this is what we do over here at HBCU Live. You know what I'm saying? We bring in everybody what's going on in these conferences and in these teams and things. Because next week, we got those Henry's Bulldogs from South Carolina State. They going up to see Coach Vick and the Norfolk State Spartans. Now, they're 1-5 on the season, but Coach, you always talking about trap games. Could this be a trap game for South Carolina State?
Very possible, man. You got Koontz. Vic did find him a quarterback. He fired his defense coordinator after the Wofford game for whatever reason. I guess he figured didn't get the best. Again, we're not inside on that, so I don't want to speculate. So I guess he's not happy with the defense, put it that way, obviously. So if he can get the defense to match the offense with Koontz, that could be a problem. It could very well be a trap game.
Right. Well, for me, I always go with coaching. and Chinnis Berry and those Bulldogs down there. They I look at it like this. They let you get their best punch on you. They'll let you punch them in the mouth, but they're gonna take their best punch, and then you got to take their best punch back, and they're gonna keep punching.
Yes,
Like they
sir.
did against A&T this past weekend in Jiho. They what is it? It was 3 field goals, a 55-yarder, and they were like, "That's all you got." Boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know,
Now, to Auntie's credit, they held them to 0 at halftime and
right.
had some key turnovers. But again, South Carolina gonna keep punching. So with that mentality, they was able to get back in the game and come out with that victory. So again, that might have been their worst game, and that might have been a good wake up call for them.
Right.
Nobody's gonna roll over on us. So it's gonna be
And
interesting how
then
they come out.
yeah, but then you still got other teams in the MEAC, like Morgan State. They're 3-4. They're still in it. Like I say, they have a good running game coming in. They've won some close games this season, so they're going to take on Howard, next weekend and stuff. So like I
That's
say,
gonna be a good game too, because Howard got
it's
something to say too.
yeah, because they just won the MEAC what 2 years ago.
Right, right. So
So
it's
like I say,
fine.
so
Fine.
them getting into conference play right now, the MEAC's about to get good.
Yeah, yeah.
MEAC's about to get good. Like I say, I think that right now, Deshaun Jackson has outcoached Michael Vick. They're sitting there 4-3. They're tied with South Carolina State in the conference and stuff. But everybody's 0-0 in the conference, so we'll see.
Yep.
So, but yes, but we're gonna go to another commercial break and everything. We'll be right back with some good HBCU D2 action.
Yes, sir.
There is a conference where the student and student athlete still matters, where geography means something, and where rivalries are measured in decades, not dollars. In this conference, we push one another to greater heights on the field, the court, the track, and in the classroom. Here, we stay true to our values, and we stay true to each other. The Mideastern Athletic Conference, where champions are made.
Resilience, community, progress. These values define HBCUs and guide our mission to create spaces that bring people together for a better tomorrow. Since 2009, we've partnered with institutions and communities, investing over $15 million and awarding hundreds of grants across our campus improvement, innovation lounge, and community project grants to spark meaningful change nationwide. Each year, we built on that legacy, activating transformative projects across several HBCU campuses to create spaces where students can live, learn, and thrive. As Retool Your School marches forward, we remain steadfast in shaping a future where every student's potential can flourish. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
Are you an event planner or venue manager looking to offer live streaming without the technical headaches? At Serious Fun Productions, we specialize in making live streaming easy, professional, and profitable for you. We partner with venues and planners to provide end-to-end live streaming services. You get more to offer your clients, while we handle the cameras, switching, graphics, and broadcast. Our white-labeled approach means your brand stays front and center. We work behind the scenes to make you look great. Here's how we deliver. We start with a discovery call to understand your goals. Then we plan the setup based on your venue's layout and needs. On event day, our crew arrives early for full setup and testing. During the show, we run the live stream with experienced camera operators and a dedicated technical director. After the event, we provide recordings, analytics, and a smooth post-show handoff. Our partnership plans make it easy to get started. Choose from 3 packages: Essential, Pro, and Elite, depending on the size of the event and the level of support you want. Plus, our built-in ROI calculator shows exactly how much you can earn with every event you host or produce. Whether you host weddings, conferences, town halls, or galas, Serious Fun is your streaming partner behind the curtain. Let's work together to elevate your events and grow your revenue without adding stress. Partner with Serious Fun Productions today.
All right, welcome back, Pulse family. Let's go ahead and get into some D2 action. We're going to start off in the CIAA. Surprise, surprise. Those Broncos from Vietnam sitting atop at 4-0. You know, started the season 0-3, but it ain't how you start, it's how you finish.
How you finish? How you
Yes,
finish?
it is. So 4 straight wins. They're battle tested. You know, they lost to Benedict, who's still undefeated on the season. Lost to UNC Pembroke, then went up to Durham, North Carolina, and lost to the Central Eagles badly. You know, but like we say, you learn a lot from ass whooping. And you know, these guys have really taken the time to get their stuff together. Coach Hayes down there got the boys together. They're 4-0. Followed by those Virginia Union Panthers at 3-0. But Fayetteville State's their bye week is this week, I believe. So you know, so they're off this week. But Virginia Union's coming in. They're 3-0. Followed by those Golden Bulls from Johnson C. Smith, and surprise, surprise, Bluefield State sitting at 2-1.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, yes. You know, we ain't gonna say nothing, but yeah, they're here they are. You know, Virginia Union is ranked 14th in the country. Johnson C. Smith's ranked 23rd. So you know, it's some very good ball being played in the CIAA. You know, Smith is going up to Shaw to play Shaw in Durham this weekend. Traveling to Virginia State to play the Trojans. Coley Gamble, you played for the Golden Bulls.
Indeed. That
Talk about.
long time ago.
Hey, it happened though. It happened.
Right.
So you know, this is their they've already secured a 500 win season already. This is going to be their first time since 1967, from 1967 to 1973, that they've had 3 consecutive 500 being above 500. You know, so Coach Flowers, let's give him his flowers. You know, on the job that he's done down there in Charlotte, North Carolina, and stuff.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Now, I believe Fayetteville State, Virginia Union, Johnson C. Smith. I believe between those 3, that's going to be your championship game on November 15th in Durham.
Yes. Wisconsin State losing to Shaw. That upset to them out of that. They had a small possibility with some help, but now they're out of it. So again, like you say, it comes to the top 3.
FSU peaking over 40 points per game in that 4-game win streak that they're on. V Union grounding and pounding, leading the league, 319 yards per game. And Johnson C. Smith is doing it with defense, leading the CIAA in 17 points a game given up. So it's going to be a 3-way battle with obviously Vietnam and Union in the driver's seat.
You know, they play each other in a couple of weeks. You know, down in Fayetteville, I believe. I believe if Smith can take that game on the road, you know, that might put them into the CIAA championship game.
No matter about it. These 3 teams control their own destiny. Union in the driver's seat, Fayetteville State in the driver's seat. But if Johnson C. Smith went out, they're in the championship game. Period. If Fayetteville State went out, they're in the championship game. Obviously, they're undefeated. So, because if Johnson C. Smith went out, that means they went over Fayetteville State and got that dub. So they're gonna get the head-to-head, and they'll get the rematch against Virginia Union. So if Fayetteville State take care of business, then they're in. So again, it's a 3-headed monster right now.
But now Virginia Union, they may have an open window all the way to the CIAA championship. You know,
you take it game by game. You're right. I don't see nobody on the schedule beating them. They got the rival Virginia State at the end of the year. Matthews, I'm not sure if Rose will be back healthy or not, or either they even matters at that point. But you still play every Saturday. So they know that I think they coach well, and they know that they got to take each game Saturday by Saturday, don't overlook nobody. Again, Shaw shot the crap out of WSSU. Nobody saw that coming. So that can happen to them as well. Play your games and then you take care of business.
Yeah.
Look at man,
like I
these
say-
guys average almost 320 yards a game. That hurts on Sunday. You're gonna feel that. So nobody really want to see you, I don't think.
Right.
That ground and pound, boy,
It hurts.
Because they got Lincoln, they have Lincoln, they got Bowie, they got Bluefield, and like I say, Virginia State coming. That's a gauntlet. I mean, it's not just a gauntlet. They if they like you say, if they take care of business on every Saturday, that's what it is. Bluefield State, 2-1. Getting their first win in the CIAA a couple weeks ago against Shaw since the 60s. They well-coached team, scrappy team. We talked to a guy the other day, who's very familiar with the team. They're a homegrown, well-coached, physical, all three phases team.
And I flatlined them, and they proved me wrong. I can admit it. I can admit it.
Do you feel that they have a chance to make some noise in this conference?
As far as this year, I think they end on a decent note. I don't see them challenging for the chip, but I think they're on the right path to start making some noise and earning respect.
All right. Well, like I say, we will see.
I agree with you, Coach. I think they're building some momentum, and this doesn't appear to be their year. Offense put butts in the seats, and defense win championships, and they've gotten 72 points, and 69 points, and 49 points hung on them this year. So I don't think this is the season, but they're definitely building some momentum.
Right. Well said.
Right. All right. Well, like I say, we're going to take this commercial break, and then we'll be right back. Oh, no, sorry. We're going to go switch on over to D2. We'll continue in D2, going on down south to Atlanta, Georgia, with headquarters of the SIAC, the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. Now, they're led by undefeated Benedict Tigers out of Columbia, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Beginning of the season, like I said, we were at the media day. We didn't think that, everybody was kind of writing them off. Everybody was looking at the Miles, the Albany States, everybody from last season. But Coach Ron Dickerson has got those Tigers going.
That he does, man. And got that ocean down there clicking at the right time. They squeaked out of a game against Allen, but, I wasn't surprised that Allen played them tough. Allen is a Jekyll and Hyde type of team, and you discussed that. You got Fabian Duncan and the Mukes. So I mean, come on, you had to play some ball, and but they came out on it. I think they're battle tested. I think they're not. They don't shy away from close games, and they have a date with Albany State too. That could very well be a rematch game, or Kentucky. We're Kentucky State as well, but. Hats off to Dickerson, man. His name is definitely in the hat for Coach of the Year. I would think, along with Albany State. Albany State, to me, is still the team to beat. But Benedict is showing that week by week that they're strong as well.
Yeah, they almost got tripped up last week against Fort Valley, which one of your trap games. But they wound up winning 14-7. Fort Valley had a lot of guys suspended from the week before for the altercation with Central State, but they stuck around there. They hung in there, and now they're at 6-0. And Benedict is actually ranked 24th in the country. This is their first week into the rankings. So Kentucky State is also making some noise. But Benedict is the leader of the SIC right now. if all they got, they're right now they control their own destiny. All they got to do is win out, and they have secured their spot in the championship game. They have a tough game this weekend against Edward Waters, going down to Duval.
I'm mad Edward Waters, who's come off an ass whooping from Kentucky State, 42-14. Am I correct on that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they're coming in mad as fire. You know what I mean? They're gonna be jumping like fish grease. So they're definitely going to get their best blow. But again, to capitalize on what you're saying, Kentucky State have thrown their name and has said, "Hey, we're here to play some ball." Right. And that was a sound whooping they put on Edward Waters, you know. And so they're definitely turning their season around after getting a lopsided loss to Albany State to start off their conference play. I think it was 42-21. Somewhere in that nature, but so they're riding the ship, man, and I was surprised on that. You picked them. You didn't pick that whooping, but you picked Kentucky State to win against Edward Waters. Again, take your flowers and stuff in that funky bass you got over there.
Well, but picked to win the SIAC at the media day was those Albany State Golden Rams down there in Albany, Georgia. Coach Quinn Gray has, like you said earlier, they are solid on all three phases. You know, Isaiah knows he commands his offense. Like you say, they run that RPO style. If he doesn't see it, you know, he goes through all of his progressions. If he doesn't see it, you know, he takes off with his legs. He's like a D2 Andrew Body.
Well said.
You know, the only loss this year is to FAMU, so they only lost this to a D1 school. You know, I believe. Do not turn your back on these Albany State Golden Rams.
No, you'd be dumb to. And I said that one finally had a little tough game, but like you said, Knowles is he's the best dual back quarterback in D2. I feel, arguably. You talk about Dan Lee from Wisconsin State, but Knowles right now lead the ship. I'm telling you, he goes through his progressions. He's patient. He's accurate, and he makes smart decisions with the football. You know, he's efficient, and special teams is on point. And again, let's say all three phases in the defense. And like you, Coley, and I say, offense puts butts in seats, but defense win them chips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, they don't get to play Edward Waters this year, so I don't feel that, you know, they can, you know, Edward Waters gets to play everybody. But this weekend against Benedict, we're going to see the true mettle of this Edward Waters team. Brian Jenkins, you know, he took over right after the media day early in the season. He put in Noah Biden's there. The defense, they stand up. Travaris Jackson, the running back. This team is ready, you know, but they just laid an egg against Kentucky State, you know. So I don't know which team is going to show up this weekend against Benedict down in Duval, but we're going to see come this Saturday, and hopefully, just hopefully, the same Edward Waters that beat Virginia Union earlier in the season shows up this Saturday.
Yeah, I got Benedict to win by 10. I think too much ocean.
On the road?
Too much ocean.
You don't think no home cooking for Edward Waters this weekend?
There's too much ocean for home cooking. They probably get lost in the ocean.
Got you. Well, like I say, Edward Waters is coming off a loss to Kentucky State. You know, Coach Huggins, man, I did not see it. Early in the season, but when they went to overtime against Grambling, you know, the win against Edward Waters, they're running through people in the SIAC, and these guys are clicking.
Yeah, at the right time.
At the right time. You know, so do not count out Kentucky State.
No, that was a big win over Edward Waters. That threw their name right back in the hat. Not only for a conference championship, but Huggins got his name in the hat for Coach of the Year, possibly too.
Oh yeah.
They shook off the Albany State loss and found themselves right back in the thick of things. So hats off to him and his team.
Yeah, they got a non-conference game this Saturday against Franklin Pierce University. and then they're off. But then they come back and they got Clark Atlanta coming to Kentucky. I believe, they will make sure their name is going to be in that hat when it comes to that championship game, And if they can win out with one loss in the SIAC, yeah, we're going to see. They do not play Benedict or
They already played
or
Albany State.
Albany. They've already lost to Albany early in the season,
Right,
things, but
right.
they do not play Benedict. So we'll see how that goes for the rest of the season and everything. But they're Kentucky State wild thoroughbreds. They are a team to watch. And Coach Huggins, we see you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Hats off, brother.
Hats off to y'all. Let me ask y'all a question. If Benedict runs the tables, do you believe that they deserve do they deserve the accolades that they should get with that? Do they? I mean, because they started out, they 10-0 opening the season, then the offensive explosion against Tuskegee. I know I kind of equate it to not having enough time to get your team prepared, because they didn't know who was going to be a quarterback. They had injuries here, injuries there. Do you think that, they can run the tables and be undefeated at the end of the year?
I do think they can run the tables, and Dickinson definitely should get Coach of the Year with that, as well as an earned playoff spot. And probably have two teams. Definitely, I think Albany State still should deserve their amazing season as well. But yeah, of course, man, if they went out, it'd be disrespectful not to. Because he did an amazing job. And so giving the man his flowers.
Well, talking about disrespect, we're going to go into a conversation of disrespect of how D2 HBCU schools have been left out of the playoffs in past years. For those of you who don't know, the D2 format has changed from 2024 to 2025. All 16 D2 conferences who sponsor football their champion will get an automatic bid into the D2 playoffs.
Okay.
They've expanded it from 28 teams to 32 teams. Now, that means there's 4 extra bids. So now there's 16 at-large bids. Right now, you have Virginia Union ranked number 14th, Johnson C. Smith ranked number 23rd in the country, Benedict ranked 23rd in the country. Albany State has received some votes. At the end of the year, do you believe that these teams, I want to see 4 HBCU teams get into the playoff field?
And they should.
Okay. Now, who could get in other than BUU, JCSU, and Benedict? Because they're ranked right now.
Okay. So let's paint the scenario. If Fayetteville State wins out and win their conference over VUU, and VUU come in undefeated in conference play, then those 2 teams should get in. Okay. Now you go to the SIAC. Benedict runs the table, and then have a rematch with Albany State, who will only have 1 loss, and then Albany State come back and beat Benedict, or vice versa. Those 2 teams should get in as well. If John C. Smith runs the table, they definitely should get in. Okay, so either John C. Smith, right now we should have 5 possible, if not, and then Kentucky State as a borderline, can't count them out as well. So I think we have 6 possible teams that could, at the end of the day, give us 4. You know what I mean? 6 possible at this point. At the end of the day, we should be able to get 4 out of that 6. No question.
Now, only 2 HBCUs in history have made it all the way to the championship game. That's Winston-Salem State and Central State back in the late 80s. Now, if they don't get 4 teams, we can sit here and call it maybe biased or I didn't say racist, but They're not giving our
yeah,
teams the opportunity to actually compete on that level.
right. Without sugarcoating it, we'll go ahead and call bias first. We're going to reserve the R card for right now. But at the end of the year, and we can blatantly see that we deserve 4. Mess around, might even see 5, but definitely 4. And then, I mean, let's come on. Let these guys play football, deservedly so. I mean, Valdosta is not having the season that they typically have, but John C. Smith took care of business, okay? Over a so-called premier program. So, hey, let's go now. Let's let these guys play ball, you know?
Well, like I say, yeah, you're right. Valdosta is having a down year, but they did play for the chip last year.
Right.
And lost, you know. But the Ferris State Bulldogs, you know, they're averaging 53 points a game and things. But Virginia Union got to the playoffs last year, and they made some noise.
Right. So let's get both guys in there to help make some more noise. You know what I'm saying? We have 4 solid teams.
Yeah, we just got to continue to, when we get the ticket to the dance, we got to come in there and move. And we just got to continue to do that. And I think more of these teams will get more opportunities to get into the tournament.
Well said.
Right. You know, get in that dance, you know, smack a little booty and everything, and, you know, and keep
come out of that sweat.
So come out of that sweat and cold.
Yeah, come out of that sweat.
Well, like I say, it's we'll see, you know, when the select, because after the championship games, you know, selection week are in and things. But like I say, do your job between those lines, win those games, and then, you know, everything else will work out.
We'll push for you the best we can from the Hbculive. We definitely trying to get you out there, get exposure, because good football played in these conferences, D1, from the MEAC to SWAC, CIW, SIAC. Keep playing ball, man. I'm loving it.
All right. We're going to take this time out real quick, and we'll be right back.
Resilience, community, progress. These values define HBCUs and guide our mission to create spaces that bring people together for a better tomorrow. Since 2009, we've partnered with institutions and communities, investing over $15 million and awarding hundreds of grants across our campus improvement, innovation lounge, and community project grants to spark meaningful change nationwide. Each year, we built on that legacy, activating transformative projects across several HBCU campuses to create spaces where students can live, learn, and thrive. As Retool Your School marches forward, we remain steadfast in shaping a future where every student's potential can flourish. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
Are you an event planner or venue manager looking to offer live streaming without the technical headaches? At Serious Fun Productions, we specialize in making live streaming easy, professional, and profitable for you. We partner with venues and planners to provide end-to-end live streaming services. You get more to offer your clients, while we handle the cameras, switching, graphics, and broadcast. Our white-labeled approach means your brand stays front and center. We work behind the scenes to make you look great. Here's how we deliver. We start with a discovery call to understand your goals. Then we plan the setup based on your venue's layout and needs. On event day, our crew arrives early for full setup and testing. During the show, we run the live stream with experienced camera operators and a dedicated technical director. After the event, we provide recordings, analytics, and a smooth post-show handoff. Our partnership plans make it easy to get started. Choose from 3 packages: Essential, Pro, and Elite, depending on the size of the event and the level of support you want. Plus, our built-in ROI calculator shows exactly how much you can earn with every event you host or produce. Whether you host weddings, conferences, town halls, or galas, Serious Fun is your streaming partner behind the curtain. Let's work together to elevate your events and grow your revenue without adding stress. Partner with Serious Fun Productions today.
All right. We got some games that we want to discuss. We're going to head out and everything this weekend. The Southern Prairie View game, I feel like it's going to be an important game to watch this weekend due to the fact that that's going to kind of determine the East coming and is going to play out the West. Who's coming out the West from the SWAC? Jermaine Jackson, he's done a great job at Prairie View right now, having them undefeated. So it's going to be good to see what they do tomorrow. Also, that Benedict Edward Waters game down in Duval. So guys, listen, you know what I'm saying? If you're new to HBCU sports, please check us out, because there's a lot of good ball being played. There's a lot of good people behind the scenes. We hope you take the time to check it out this weekend and everything,
Yeah. And if you love the show, hit like and hit subscribe.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? So for my man Henry Funny, Colton Gamble, Coach Thrill, and myself, Toby Durham, Post Weekly Family, we out.